Today we are rating custom Magic the Gathering cards. We're going to start off with the Bird of Prey. It is a white, one generic 2/2 bird, as many birds are. It has flying, white, tap, gain X life, where X is your devotion to white. Bird of Prey loses flying until end of turn. That is such a weird cost. I don't understand. I don't quite get the flavor text of this, but it is perfectly fine and legal. So you just basically, with double white, you can keep gaining a ton of life over and over and over again. Next turn, do it all over again. Maybe even for more life than the last turn. You have more white devotion. I love the devotion mechanic. We gotta bring devotion back. You should get stronger with your devotion to your color. Easy pass. Next up, we got Plot Twist. It is a red 1 generic instant. Plot Twist deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. For 3 mana, that's not even a particularly strong card, but it's got plot. You may pay a red 1 generic and exile this card from your hand. Cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Oh, I see. This is a plot twist. It's a twist on the mechanic of plot. I don't think this is the way they... This is not how they defined plot in Thunder Junction, in my opinion. Danger level -1 draft chaff. That's, yeah, basically. So it's doable. Yeah, send it to the printer. All right, next up we've got... Hold on, it's not safe for work content. How not safe for work? I don't know what the consequences of showing that card, so I'm skipping the damn thing. I'm just gonna skip that one. All right, we got Inquisitive Demon. It's a black 2 generic 4/5 demon with menace and vigilance. What is with the draft cards today? It's draft day every day. Okay, we got Expense Exhaust. It is a black instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each treasure you control. That's cool. Alright, so I make a lot of treasures, but I don't want to sack them. I don't want to sack them just yet because I have to use the Expense Exhaust and make you cry, I don't know, gold? The wolf is crying gold. No music. There will be in a minute. Thank you very much for letting me know. Sometimes I forget to... Sometimes I forget to add the music. Oops. What am I doing here? Pushing the wrong buttons. We have, okay, let's do some super chats, because of course you can super chat by going to my Discord, joining it, going to the custom card section, submit your card, write the name of the card in the post, and we will take a look at that card. So where's my super chat sound effects? Arboreal Viper! Is this thing up? Okay, good. Arboreal Viper. So I look it up and boom, it's there. It's a great system. What's my limit? I think it's like 10 cards per person. Maybe it's 15. Can't remember what I changed. I think it's 15 per person. It's green-black, 2/1 snake, flash, kicker of 2. When Arboreal Viper enters, it gains reach and death touch until end of turn. If Arboreal Viper was kicked, it enters with a reach counter, a death touch counter, and a +1/+1 counter on it. Looks good enough for me. Like, what is it? Like, enters the battlefield, it gains reach. So, with the turn that it comes into play, it danger! It's basically like a 2-mana removal spell. But if you kick it for 4 mana, it's a little bit bigger. It can actually survive a 1/1 attacking it. It just has reach. It's gonna reach up to the skies. Easy pass. Back to the freebie section. We got swag glasses. Oh, do I have a swag sound effect? I do not. We have a 2-mana artifact, pay 1 tap. You gain 1 swag counter. This does nothing. I mean, unless you can show me, what's it called? I don't know, the swag synergy. Show me the swag deck. Maybe the swag does. This creature gets +1/+1 every single time it attacks. Sorry, gets +1/+1 for each swag counter you have on all permanents you control. Mordrek asking the right questions. What does swag do? I don't know! And because I don't know, this card is useless. It does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, we're gonna take a look at Ooh, we got one Frame James, Infectious Pretentious. I gotta organize this stuff better here. Okay, Infectious Pretentious. It is a green 0-2 skeleton. I didn't know skeletons were green. They're usually black. It's got Infect. It's very strange ability on a 0 power creature. Whenever you lose life, you get a poison counter for each point of life lost. You could end up dying in one shot. But Infectious Pretentious gets +X, where X is the number of poison counters you have. Oh, weird. So basically, as you take damage, this thing will get bigger, and then all of a sudden, maybe it's going to be over. Maybe it's going to be over for you. I like it, actually. I like this card a lot. I guess you would play it in some deck that you drain yourself for each point of life lost. So it does count loss of life, which is good. So as you lose life, it gets bigger. Yeah, it's a very interesting design. I have a feeling we'd hate it anyway, because it's like permanently big, right? So as you play things like Collective Brutality or pay life to activate abilities or even Necropotence, this thing will get enormous. And then, well, get out of the way of the Infectious Pretentious. Death Shadow's mini. Oh, you're right, actually. No, now that you say that, maybe this is just broken. Because if it's Death Shadow, it's literally Death Shadow that you can play on turn 1. You play this thing on turn 1, and your life total will even be higher than a regular Death Shadow. Because Death Shadow, you want to get down to like 7 or 5 life. Here, you just have to go down to like 8, 9, like you just have to go down 7 life. You can sit at 13 and be pretty good. Yeah, this is broken. I think it's broken. I think this is really broken. You could die fast with this on board, though. It's a double-edged sword. So yeah, if you attack and you don't kill someone, whenever you lose life, I guess you could put yourself down pretty low and then just die to somebody else, draining you for a bit. Yeah, but if you lose 10 life, you lose. Well, you don't want to lose 10 life. You want to just get down to, you want to play this turn 1, I don't know, lose 8 life, get down to 12. I guess, yeah, you just can't die. It's a hard card to evaluate. We'll give it a pass. We'll give it a pass. I just don't know. Unexpected Assist. It is a white-red instant. An opponent of your choice may put their commander from the command zone onto the battlefield. If they don't, draw a card. An opponent of your choice may put their commander directly in play, huh? So, and if they don't, I draw a card. What's the point? So I guess the idea is I could target someone who already has the commander in play, so I definitely draw a card. Why do I want to do this? Though rituals in the arena, each recognized in the other a warrior's spirit. So weird. I guess it's just like a group hug card. Okay, let me help you get into the game. Your commander is super expensive. The tax is like enormous. Just put it directly onto the battlefield. Cheatsy in play. Here's the rite of passage. I guess that's why it's called the unexpected assist. You didn't think I'd do that, did you? But I need to make an ally, and this is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be my opponent. All right, cool. Definitely a card. Make it come out for a board wipe. That would be rude. Yeah, okay, I'll unexpectedly assist your commander in play. Oh, by the way, I wiped the board. Sorry about that. I was just joking. Okay, next up, we've got, Gabrielle, I hope you're doing well. A card is Spear of Selection. Remember, the way we do this, the higher the super chat, the higher the priority. I will get through every super chat, though. I will get through every super chat. Okay, the Spear of Selection is a 2-mana, but unless it's a series. If it's a series of cards, then I'll get that in the second half. The Spear of Selection, 2-mana, legendary artifact, equipment. Equipped creatures get +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may put 2 -1/-1 counters on it and exile target creature an opponent controls. So you shrink your creature to exile something in front of you. Equip human 4. This ability costs 3 less if the creature is legendary. Ah, I see what you want to do. So what is the point of this? Is Is this supposed to be some new Shadow Spear? It's a Shadow Spear that, like, buffs you up +2/+0. But then when it attacks, you can put the 2/1/1 counters, exile something for forever. That's strong removal. But you do have to attack. You must, I declare my attack in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Useful when your commander is a stacks piece? I guess so. Only equip human? I guess, yes. Only equip human, and also not only equip human, but you also can only equip, okay, equip human for 4, and if it's legendary, if it's a legendary human, cost 3 less. I think this is a pass, easily. Actually, it's a pretty neat card design. End up killing your own commander, potentially. Alright, freebie section. Time loop. Blue XX sorcery. Take X extra turns after this one. How is this gonna end well? How is this card gonna end well? You tell me. During each of those turns, untap steps. Each opponent untaps all permanents they control, draws a card, and may cast spells as though they had flash until end of turn. Weird balance. Very weird balance. It's like, alright, we all get to play the extra turn. Alright, Doctor Strange. Not so... This really is strange now, isn't it? Are there any other artifacts in the game that can be equipped to a specific creature type? I don't know. You're going a bit too fast for people to comment on the cards. I know, you gotta refresh your page, alright? YouTube has a thing. You can watch at your own discretion, at your own pace, your own internet speed, or you can watch with the stream. You gotta click, I think it's like a red dot, or it's a gray dot. You have to turn it red. Opponents can't drop lands. Well, big whoop. I don't even think that's gonna be a problem. I mean, if you have 5 mana for 3 extra turns. Sorry, if you have 5 mana for 2 extra turns, your opponents are gonna have like 4 to 5 mana or more. They untap all their permanents, including their artifacts. Yeah, let chaos ensue. I guess it's fair. Like, that's a disastrous downside. You don't get extra attacks, really, because your opponents have all these blockers. You're not really getting any extra cards. It's really everyone gets an extra turn, including them. In fact, they're in a better spot than you, because they can play at flash speed. You still have to play at sorcery speed. Wait a minute, these are not AI-generated cards. You never know, actually. I think a lot of people submit AI cards here. It's like, no one looks at my AI cards. I'm gonna have to put them here. Okay, so, okay, what is this about, Miyuki? On Reddit, no Discord. No Discord? Okay, what do we got? The Outer Realms, a re-upload. The Outer Realms. Re-upload for Flavor. Oh, so it is some sort of series. I should have seen it coming. Super Chat was too big enough. Okay, Tree of Sandlight Revelations. It's a Desert Sands. Is it necessary to call it a Sands card? So we tap to add a white and a green. Pay 3, tap, scry 3, then reveal one of the cards to your opponents. You can add the revealed card to your hand. So on, what, did they do it? Then reveal one card to your opponents. You can add the reveal. I don't understand this card. I don't get this. Scry 3, reveal one of the cards to your opponents. You can add the revealed card to your hand. So aren't I just always putting this card in my hand? Yeah, it's like, I think it's a little bit confusing. Or do they get the option to put in my hand? Which, I mean, they would never do it. I scry 3. Sand is a land type? Alright, we have sand desert. As if there's... I guess there is technically a snow desert. Such a thing does exist. This card makes no sense to me, to be honest. I really don't know what you're trying to accomplish with this ability. It's pay 3, scry 3. I can show my opponent's 1. You can add the reveal card. Like, wouldn't I just always put it into my hand? Hey, I am taking this card and putting it into my hand. It should just say, you reveal one of the cards to your opponent. You may reveal a card to your opponent and put it in your hand. You reveal to your, then add to your, then it should just say that. Okay, Outer Realm. Peony's Matrix. Oh god, there's so much flavor text here. Tap, place a +1/+1 counter on all non-construct creatures. That could be cool. Also has no mana ability. Tap the owners of non-construct creatures loses 1 life per +1/+1 counter on each creature they control. If the life lost is equal to or more than 8, they lose another 3 life. Why does it have to do more than that? Why did we go to 11? So if they lose more than 8, it just cascades out of control. I know, I'm squinting to read this too. I don't know, you know what? We gotta pull out the Titanic sound effect whenever the font gets too small. I'm doing it! If the font is too small, you get the Titanic sound effect. That's a new rule. Or I'm gonna get another meme song to describe these things. I do think the card is playable, even though I think the second ability is a little punishing. But I think it's fine. If this land really is uninteracted with completely, I guess they deserve to lose. The Outer Realm, Zaboda, main U. Tap to have double colorless. Then you must return 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your library. If you cannot, you will lose 7 life instead. This is just weird card design. So you just literally made a new soul land with no disadvantage. Well, I mean, so I guess it's at the cost of cards in your hand. It might be balanced. It might be. Tap, lose a life equal to the converted mana value of target creature you control. Then exile a creature with converted mana value lower than target creature. I'm going to lose life. So is this like a fight card? I'm going to lose life to the converted mana value of target creature I control. Then I exile a creature with converted mana value lower than target creature. This sounds really strong. It's like, it sounds like a vendetta on a land, which is also a soul land at the same time. And you know what? You do not have to remove a card from your hand. Or then you must return 1 card. I think you mean like, then you must put 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you cannot, you lose 7 life. If I'm not mistaken, there are real cards with smaller text. Some planeswalkers probably, so they shouldn't get the Titanic sound effect for having too small. If I got a squint, I'm giving the Titanic sound effect. All right, this is not. It has nothing to do with how good or bad the card is. I guess, okay, of all these cards, I guess I'll give a pass on this. I don't really want to. Outer Realm, Kasartha, the Living Star. 7 mana, 0/8 living land. Pay 1 tap at a 0/1 counter on Outer Realm with the Living Star. Pay 4 tap, target creature gains +5/+5 until end of turn. Target creature is then destroyed at the end of turn. Okay, that actually seems fair. And then pay 8 tap, deal damage equal to the toughness of Outer Realm star to all other creatures for 8 mana. Deal damage to the toughness. Oh, so it's just continuously a board wipe. Is that? I don't think that's broken. Like, it's a board wipe for 8 mana. Like, you can't even activate it until the next turn. This one, I think I can give an easy pass. Honestly. I can give it a pass. Think the flavor text. Yeah, the flavor text. See, when Wizards of the Coast loads up their cards with a lot of text, they usually forego the flavor text. So I'm going to give this one a pass. I'm going to go back and this is a damn soul land. And I actually think it's really, really strong. I think it's pretty strong. It's like removal spell and soul land on a land. But this is clean. It's a very expensive card. It's a creature land? How the hell does that work? Hold on, does this mean, like, you could tutor this, like, search your deck for a land card and put it onto the battlefield? I think you can. This is like, I don't know what kind, there's cards out there. You know, search your deck for a land, put it onto the battlefield. But you can't do anything with this. You still have to wait to get to 4 mana to 8 mana, so I actually think it's fine. But you can put it into play without paying? Oh, is that how it's gonna work? A 0/8, oh, maybe it's broken too. Okay. Not the other way around. It's a creature card, but adds land. Well, the problem is if it's true that you can just put it into play for nothing, then I'll say it's broken. But if you have to pay the casting cost, these lands aren't in danger because Blood Moon exists. That's not a good reason. If Blood Moon isn't played, then you're just gonna run away with the game with it. It's a creature card, but adds land. I don't know why we have to make it a land. You can play it for free, and it has a mana value of 7. Okay, I understand. Okay, in that case, it's busted. Sorry, Miyuki, this wasn't your week. Was not your week. Cards were too broken. Okay, we got the Decreaser. It is a red 1 generic 0/0 elemental. Decreaser enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each non-basic lands your opponents control. So it's going to end up with like +5/+5 for all of Miyuki's cards here. And then Haste Trample at the beginning of the end step. Sacrifice Decreaser. Oh, that's lame. Okay, so it's just one big, huge punch. You basically play this late in the game. But also late in the game, it's very easy. Oh, it's not that easy to block because it does have the trample. Oh, well, I try this for flavor more than playability. Okay, I understand. I can understand that. I designed for flavor, damn it. It can be on the banned list. I'm fine with my cards on the banned list. They were designed for flavor. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh does that all the time, you know that? They sometimes print cards that go to immediately, like, they get restricted to one or go to the banned list instantly. But it was in the anime, so they have to print it for flavor. This is the price of progress. I love that. That's a great pun. I like the card. Very, very good card. Okay, next up. Next super chat. We'll take another one. Did we do... okay, well, we have to prioritize the big ones. Fred Jones, Trap Expert. I made one for each member. After you see one, I would like to hear which combo you would like to make. Oh, okay, then I will get to that one later, when the second half. We'll do another Gabrielle then. The other card for today, Percival Round Table Leader. Round Table Leader. This is a 4-mana 3/3 Human Knight. First strike Vigilance. When Percival Round Table Leader attacks or blocks, other attacking or blocking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Unification. If you control 2 or more creatures who share no creature type with this card, so you have a real jank creature archetype deck, put a +1/+1 counter on those creatures instead. Also, they get first strike and Vigilance until end of turn. Great card. Someone making real cards out here that are not going straight to the banned list. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Feck. Am I pronouncing that right? Oh no, it's fake. Whatever. The Mimic Progenitor. It is a 4-mana 3/3 shapeshifter. It is a legendary artifact creature. Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, each player creates a treasure token. Then each artifact token your opponent's control deals 1 damage to its controller. Whenever an opponent sacrifices an artifact token, create a 1/1 colorless Mimic artifact creature token with Death Touch. That's interesting. So at the beginning of your end step, each player creates a treasure token. Then each artifact token your opponent's control deals 1. So we basically create tokens to damage them. And then we actually want them to sacrifice the tokens to play something. And then we get our 1/1 Mimic artifact creature tokens with Death Touch. I think this is a banger design. I think that's really cool. Here, have treasures. They will hurt you. But if you use them, I get Mimic artifact creature tokens with Death Touch, I guess. Fake because mimics? Oh, is that the pun here? Was there a joke? It's a fake Mimic Progenitor. It's fake. It's powerful, but not immune to removal. That's right. Okay, next up, let's take a look at one from Brawly's Shadow, Alabaster Ward. Alabaster Ward is a white instant. You and permanents you control gain protection from target spell until end of turn. Don't touch me. That's right. Don't touch. I have boundaries. Know your boundaries, damn it. I need breathing space. There must be 8 feet between me and you. So you and permanents you control gain protection from target spell. Is that it? I think that's totally fine. Why can't we play cards like that? It's like it's like a less broken version of Veil of Summer in my opinion. Or maybe it's slightly more broken. I don't know. It doesn't draw you a card, so it has to be fine in my book. Next up, we have Colossal Cloud Paw. This is absolutely adorable. We have a white, 3 generic, 6/6 cat with flash. When it enters the battlefield, your opponents can't cast spells until end of turn. So what? They can. Well, that is so weird. So they can't cast spells during the turn, but they can cast spells at the end of turn. Otherwise, it would say like, you know, you can't cast spells this turn. Period. Steve Cooper says, print it for the cat. It came from nowhere, played around with our forces, broke the enemy's siege weapons, jumped over the wall, then went on to sleep on the king's castle. That's very cute. I think it's totally playable too. It's basically just a 6-mana 6/6. Says, okay, you guys can't interact once this thing ETBs. Or it ETB, once the ETB resolves, no one can interact anymore. If you blink it, it could get annoying. Remember, it's only until end of turn. So once end of turn happens, oh no, it doesn't say the beginning of the end step. Okay, hold on. When it enters battlefield, your opponents can't cast spells until end of turn. So you just can't play stuff, period? Blink on opponent's turn. Would play it for real. Fluffy out of it's Fluffy out of 10. It's gonna get it gets a 10 out of 10 on the fluffy scale. So fluffy, it's like a big fluffy cloud. That's why it's called the Cloud Paw. The end of turn, the turn ends after the cleanup step. Yeah, I just recognize a lot of these types of cards say, you know, you can't do anything until the beginning of the next end step. It actually just literally says until end of turn. Maybe it is a problem. So you play this with a blink deck. Well, do you know what? Let's say you have this blink mechanic. Isn't that just fair? Like, it's an annoying 2-card combo, but they can only do it on 1 turn. So if it's a 4-player game, like, so what? It's a 6-mana card. Really cool. Colossal Cloud Paw. It's gonna be one of my cabinets for my thumbnail after the show is done. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Crowcore Games. Yeah, Shifter would be a menace in Magic 2. A post title on Discord. That is a very big post title. Just gonna look. Yeah, Shifter. Yeah, boy. Yeah, Shifter is a black 1 generic 12/22 spell shaper. Your templating absolutely sucks. What is this? Flash, not even capital F. It is like lowercase f, LASH, colon. Is that like an ability? So what, we gain flash if you have no cards in your graveyard, colon. We have 2 colons! You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard until the end of the next turn. Any card sent to the graveyard is exiled. Double space instead. This triggers once per turn. I don't even know what this means. Okay, if you have no cards in your graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, so it's the only card in the graveyard, and until end of turn, until the end of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is exiled instead. That's so weird. Oh, so you should just have this ability. It should just say, okay, get rid of the flash part. That's not necessary. The fleshes have been reached. Oh, wait, they will, though. Well, maybe not yet. The fleshes are on their way to getting reached. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card translated into Magic. Well, it translated terribly. That's all I'm gonna say. Please make please make this channel. Oh yeah, I guess it could be. Well, it could be channeled for 0. It's an interesting idea. If there are no cards in your graveyard, just boop, Dimensional Shifter. And then cards that go to the graveyard until any card sent to the graveyard. Oh yeah, from your opponent. That might be broken actually. Very broken graveyard hate. So it has flash. It's just an activated ability. That's all it is. Like, it doesn't have flash. You don't flash this thing into play. And it's got 2 semicolons. It's so weird. Yeah, and it's a 12/22 but it's got like it costs a lot of mana. It costs 6. Whatever, I'm disqualifying it because it did not make enough sense to me. All right, we're going to thank our sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com. Commander Fallout Commander decks have already been released. If you're impressed with all the gameplay with them, maybe you want to pick one up and beef up your Commander collection with those Fallout cards. And also, the Outlaws of Thunder Junction is fully spoiled. Get those Commander decks. And the red hot singles. Need some new boots? You need a new GT? Well, they got it for you at the Outlaws of Thunder Junction. You can support the channel by using coupon code Nikachu at checkout when you are purchasing things from FusionGamingOnline.com. Also gets you 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Big news, by the way, for the Commander players. They now have Commander Leagues on Magic the Gathering Online. They are supporting Commander big time. So now is a better time than ever to be getting in on the Magic action, and you can rent any cards you want using a subscription service like Mana Traders. So play every single Commander possible, every deck type. Don't be limited on cards when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_FL0. Not to mention, now's a better time to get on Magic Online because Magic Online also has a bunch of free stuff that they give their new users. Free decks to be playing in Pioneer, Pauper, Legacy, Modern, and I think they also have a Commander deck for you all. It's really cool, real cool stuff that's going on. Okay, we're going to look at one more freebie. And then it's going to be the Super Chat second half. It's really the Super Chat's third half. Okay, D&D Night. Red 3 generic instant with Convoke. It becomes night. Venture into the dungeon. If you have a full party, draw a card. That is such a weird card. Is it fine? Is it broken just for venturing into the dungeon? Once you venture into the dungeon, you keep venturing. I can't remember how venture... No, it's not adventure. No, it is venture into the dungeon. So if you don't... This could be broken. No, I don't like that. No. I don't like the sound of that at all. No, it's fine. You can convoke into the dungeon. That's insane. The first mode is like get a land from your deck and put it into your hand. So it's like... So at the... Well, the whole night thing is probably not that good. You know what? In Commander, dungeon doesn't seem that dangerous. In one-on-one Magic, the dungeon, it danger, okay? It absolutely danger. Even though there's no creature, but all future creatures can still deal damage. The D&D dungeons are weak. The initiative is the broken one. Okay, maybe you're right. If that's true, then it's fair. The dungeon is meh. Maybe I'm mistaken the things. You can't enter that dungeon normally the way you're thinking, Nikachu. All right. If I got it wrong, then I got it wrong. Okay, Super Chats galore. Let's start off with Majra, one of the greatest sponsors of the custom Magic the Gathering shows. Hey everyone, I almost sleep through the stream. Here's part 3 of the Lullavesk. Part 3, huh? Part 3 of Lullavesk. We're gonna start off Kanushi. Oh, and we have a lot of text on the board. What does a lot of text mean? Okay, Kanushi of Lullavesk. It is a 3-mana 3/3 creature, Wolf Warrior Cleric. It gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance as long as it's modified. When it dies, you may return it onto the battlefield. It is an aura enchantment with enchant creature, and enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and has whenever creature deals damage to a player or battle, create a 2/2 green plant creature token with reach. I mean, sure, it's fine. It's a bit weird though. So it's basically a 3/3 that turns into actually a decent aura in the second half. I actually think it's pretty cool. That one actually works quite well. Enchantress of Lullavesk. It's a 3-mana 2/2. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 2 life and draw a card. So we are basically power creeping Enchantress's Presence is what you're telling me, but it's in white instead. See you later, Toads. But you know what? All things considered, I think this is still a pass. Like, Enchantress's Presence is not broken. And we also have, I think we have some other cards that are similar to this, where, like, you play an enchantment, you draw a card, and you gain a life. Something to that effect. Maybe you should use the dial-up sound effect, the one you've been using for Chaos for Walls of Text, and use something else for when Chaos ensues. No, I'm going to use this. I'm going to shame them. I'm going to shame you people with the Titanic sound effect. This becomes a big meme card. So this is easy pass. In fact, I actually think a lot of people would love to play this card. Next up, Champion of the Lalavesk. 3 mana, 3/3. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on your champion. Easy pass. A lot of Enchantress decks would love these cards. Aura's Blossoming. This is a banger art. This is like a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 art in my opinion. This is Secret Lair quality. This is, yeah, basically. Enchant permanent. You have Aura's Blossoming. Enters as a copy of any aura you control on the battlefield. Huh? What did we say here? You may have Aura's Blossoming. Enter as a copy of any aura you control on the battle. Oh, it's just basically copy aura. So whatever aura I have, we have a double aura. Totally fine. Probably. This is like a, you know what? It's a bit, this card is sad. I think the card sort of sucks. But the art is amazing. This is a classic case of beautiful art put on like pretty like lukewarm cards. Yeah, it's like a copy enchantment for auras. It's probably something that we need. Communal Turfs, the 3 mana aura. Enchant land. When Communal Turfs enters, gain control of enchanted land, then untap it. 3 mana, steal the land? At the beginning of your end step, give control of enchanted land to an opponent if it's tapped. Otherwise, all opponents draw a card. Oh, so you can keep the land. Okay, you balanced it. I actually think you balanced this card quite well. You swipe someone's lands, everyone draws a card. If I use the land, you could opt to not use the land. At the beginning, oh, it's only at the beginning of your end step. Hold on. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I could just tap this on someone else's turn. And then it untaps on my turn, and this thing would never trigger. So you actually, if you really want to balance it, should be at the beginning of the opponent's end step. Enchant our land. Your land is my land. The cumulative enchant land enters when it enters, gain control of enchanted land, then untap it. You steal someone's land, right? Oh yeah, it is our land. It's everybody's land, except you don't get to use it anymore. Communism be like that sometimes. Yeah, so the way you break this card, or I don't know, maybe it's still balanced, is you just tap the land on everyone else's turn, then this clause never triggers, because it'll never get to the beginning of your end step. Because, like, it's everyone else's turn. Yeah, it only checks your end step. So you could tap this on their turn, on your turn it untaps, and then nothing happens. It's still probably fine. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. Okay, next super chat. Let's take one from any larger super chats. Go on, let's get around to some people who haven't got a super chat. Zarthar hasn't got a super chat. Move aside, Catbug. Twisted Fate. Ooh, it's like a Gambit in card form. Okay, we have 4 mana, 3/3 human rogue. First strike. The first time you draw 1 or more cards each turn in a phase other than your beginning phase. Fated Twist deals 1 damage to up to 2 different targets. The second time you may tap target creature and put a stun counter on it. The third time, scry 2, then exile the top card of your library. That card becomes plotted. The first time you draw 1 or more cards. Why are you getting a benefit? This card seems busted. The first time you draw 1 or more cards in each turn in a phase other than your beginning phase. So this just, like, doesn't this just cascade out of hand? This is a Lord of the Rings card. Is this even real? I think this card's broken. 4 mana, this thing. Draw through cards through something. I ping stuff, stun things down, tap creatures, and I plot things for free, for nothing. Who names themselves Twisted Fate? The person who has Twisted Fate. Do we have an X-Files sound effect? I do. Oops, hold on. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Maybe you could use that instead of dial-up for when the cards don't make sense. Twisted Fate is a League of Legends hero. Oh, it's a Legends of Runeterra. Oh, I see. I think it's broken. To be honest, I think it's broken. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it's basically 4 mana, and then as I'm drawing cards, which is easy enough to do. The whole plotting thing sounds insane. Exile top of card, the card becomes plotted. So I could just play cards for free after stacking them on top of my deck. That is absolutely bonkers, in my opinion. Okay, next up, we go with Elixir, The Last Fight. Damn it! Did you submit this on Reddit? Is this it? This was 3 years ago. I don't think this is your card. Did you submit it on my Discord? I don't see it here. Look up last. Oh, is it last? Oh, is it last flight? Oh, sorry, it's not. It was last. You know what? It's not you. It's me. It's not you. It's me. I'm an idiot. Okay, we got a white-red, 1 generic instant. Last flight deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature has flying, it loses flying, and you may put a flying counter on target creature you control. So what are we plucking the feathers from another bird and then giving it giving them to ourselves? Only fools wish to fly. The brave take their action. Sweet card. 100% playable. 100,000,000% playable. Okay, Bacon Cat Book has a lot of cards, so we got to get through them one at a time at some point. An equitable and fair exchange. Let's see how equitable it is. Okay, 6 mana for a sorcery. Exile all lands. Starting with the next player in turn order, each player returns a card exiled this way to the battlefield under their control until all cards exiled this way have been returned to the battlefield. Ah! So if one person has a ton of lands in play, you basically divide it amongst everyone. So if the person who has no lands in play is going to get more lands than they're supposed to. We're making everything very fair. Actually works out quite well. Cool card. Very, 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 very cool card. Next up, let's take a look at JD. No card to share, but here's a free, here's Tree Fitty. Thank you so much for your Tree Fitty. But I'll tell you what we're going to do with that Tree Fitty, JD. We're going to go back to the freebie section. Oh, where's the freebie section? The Jund Golem. For 1 mana, it's a 1/1 with 1,000,000. Oh, it's got a bunch of spree abilities. Why is it using this card set? This is not Thunder Junction at all. Okay, spree. Plus black. Jund Golem enters the battlefield with a lifelink counter on it. Plus red. Jund Golem enters the battlefield with a menace counter on it. Okay, yeah, red sort of is menacing sometimes. Plus green. Jund Golem enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Okay, so what can it be? It can be for 4 mana. It can be a lifelinking menace 3/3 creature. Cool card. Easily playable. Easily doable. Send it to the printers. Next up, we'll take something from Robert. Robert, what do you got? The Pain Train. The Pain Train is a 4 mana 9/11 vehicle with trample. Damage dealt by the Pain Train can't be prevented. When the Pain Train becomes crewed for the first time each turn, I don't know, why would you want to do it several times? Add colorless for each creature that crewed it, and the Pain Train deals twice that much damage to you. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. You can also crew for 6. The Pain Train can be your commander, so it nets you mana in a weird way. This is your commander? We take orders from a giant train. That's right. The train will lead the army. Be brave. Be like a train. The momentum is unstoppable. Okay, so I will say it's playable. I don't think it's got some weird stats, but I don't think it's broken. I see nothing on there that's completely broken. Okay, next up, we'll take one from Will Anderson, Solace of the Sky. What do we get here? Alright, Solace of the Sky, a red enchantment. As long as you control an untapped basic mountain, you can't be the target of spells and abilities your opponents control. Whoa, whoa, whoa. As long as you control an untapped basic mountain, are you insane? You can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. This card is broken. And it's an enchantment for a singular red. I mean, I think it's a very interesting mechanic. So long as you have, I don't know, it should probably cost like 5 mana or something. Restraint, Imprisoned Liberty, Great Key to Golden Places. This is a really nasty hate card. For a singular red mana, I mean, like, you do have to wait until your second turn, because you do have to have an untapped basic mountain. But it's real, the bar on this card is so damn low. Yeah, totally out of the red, totally out of the red pie. Totally out of the red pie. Supremely strong, overpowered. Is the flavor neat? Restraint, Imprisoned Liberty, Great Key to Golden Places. I don't get it. Vitron Espouse says, thumbs up the video, Coffee Crew. Yeah, thumbs up. Hit that, smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Okay, next up, we're going to look at Green Cheese, Injection Fairy Lily, and Dark Armored Dragon. Injection Fairy Lily? Okay, let's take a look at this. It's a nurse! If you have a thing for nurses, I hope you have a thing for fairies. We got the Injection Fairy Lily, a 3-mana 1/3. When Injection Fairy Lily attacks or blocks, you can pay 5 life. If you do, it gets +7/+0 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. This is so weird. I guess it's fine. So you pay 5 life to smack your opponent for 7 damage. I have a feeling they would not print something like this. Because, like, it doesn't cost you any mana to pay this. So basically, you pay 3 mana, remove their 1 blocker with a removal spell, attack, hit them for 8. Probably not fair. Is the artwork censored? Doesn't look very censored to me. Lily! She was my first cardboard love. The first of many. It's probably is broken. Well, broken's maybe strong, but this is not a very balanced card whatsoever. Then we got the Dark Armored Dragon. It's a 4-mana 6/4 dragon. You can't cast this spell unless you have exactly 3 black creature cards in your graveyard. It's got trample. You need exactly? No, you got 4. Dark Armored Dragon says, 4 is a crowd. Exile a black creature card from your graveyard. Destroy target creature. Interesting. So very hard to get out, but then once it's out, your opponents get nothing. It's interesting. Yeah, the casting requirement is really strong. It's very, very interesting. Okay, I like it. This card could be busted, but like it seems so hard to pull off. And your opponents can interact with it so well. Like the moment you get 3 like creatures in your graveyard, I just exile one of them. I mean, if you know the Dark Armed Dragon metagame. Also, even when it's on the battlefield, you can exile their graveyard and they still can't destroy your creatures. Both of these Yu-Gi-Oh cards are spot on. Neat. Yu-Gi-Oh adaptations for the win. Okay, let's take a look at a Majra special. While I'm here, part 4 of the Lalavesque. Of course you would put part 4. And of course you are here. That's a lot of words. That's too many words. Okay, we have Blossoming Sanctuary. It is a 10-mana legendary enchantment. Costs 1 less to cast for each wolf you control. You can look at the top card of your library at any time. 4 mana. Exile a card from any graveyard. Gain 2 life. 3 mana. Create a 3/3 green plant creature token. Gain 2 life. Double red. You can play lands and auras from the top of your library until end of turn. Abilities of Blossoming Sanctuary cost 1 less to activate for each aura and or equipment you control. It's 10 mana, but then again, it costs 1 less to cast for each wolf, but wolves are usually pretty expensive. This probably is fine. Like, none of these abilities are even broken anyway. By themselves, I think they're quite okay. Blossoming Sanctuary has less words than a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's true. Well, they don't like the keyword anything in Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, it's the Lalavesk. For 4 mana, or potentially 7. It's a legendary enchantment. You may cast aura or equipment from any graveyard once each turn. Whenever an aura or equipment enters the battlefield under your control from the graveyard, create a 3/3 green plant creature token. Cool. Those plants are big. Little Shop of Horrors strong. Lalavesk Sigil. It is a 4-mana enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you may begin with it onto the battlefield. We have another Leyline. Lifelink. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield, whenever an aura enters under your control, the Sigil deals 2 damage to any target, then put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I also think this is fine. Hopefully that 2 damage to any target isn't too broken. That could scale out of control. The Fleurs et Coronae is a 3-mana aura, enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchant permanent is a planes and loses all other abilities and card types. That's a very good card. This actually looks like something Wizards would print, 100%. Turn your permanent into a land. Blossoming of Hope. Triple green aura. Enchant creature. Enters the battlefield, choose a color. You gain life equal to twice your devotion to the chosen color. Okay. Okay, whenever enchanted creature attacks, other attacking creatures get a +1/+1 counter. Your French is horrendous. Hey, I'll have you know that my average grades in French in Canada were 40%. And they just sort of pushed me through that educational train. They could clearly see that this language is not getting absorbed into my brain. It didn't help that the rest of the world spoke English and I had absolutely no incentive to actually learn French. I'm like, why are they teaching me this? I'm so far from Quebec. Yeah, I mean, you can gain there's so many cards that gains you infinite life, so it's no big deal. All right. There's always one card in your pile, Majra, that's a giant word pile. Dark Starsure, we've got Kazagar Ravager Conduit or whatever. Okay, we have a big thing over here. Who's Kazagar? Oh, you have 2 cards. And Toralf Ravager's Bane. Okay, this is a 7-mana 6/4 construct. As long as it's your turn and you control 6 or more other artifacts, Kazagar Conduit has Indestructible. That's cool. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Kazagar dies this turn, exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a construct artifact with tap, add, colorless. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells in addition to its other types. That's so weird. Why do you need, like, the tapping, gaining mana ability attached to all this? Just, like, putting it into play under your control seems busted enough for the most part. Okay, next up. By the way, I think the last card is fine. Then we have the Ravager's Bane. For 4 mana, it's a 4/2 Dwarf Berserker. For red source you control would deal damage to an artifact creature. It deals double that damage to the artifact creature instead. And then when Toralf Ravager's Bane dies, create 6/1/1 Red Wolf creature tokens. When this creature enters the battlefield, it fights target creature and opponent controls. That's just weird. Double red tap. Toralf fights target creature and opponent controls. Red source you control would deal damage to an artifact. It's only an artifact creature. I guess this is okay. It's just a weird card. The whole get 6/1/1s that fight things when it comes out is just a little strange to me. It's just basically everyone like does a little peck at something all at one time. Okay, next up, let's take a look at one from Spectral Maniac. Katya, Bloodsucker of the Night. We got ourselves an anime card, and the font is very small. 3 mana for a 1/1 vampire. Kicker of 6 mana, flying. When the Bloodsucker of Night enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 black bat creature tokens with flying. If it was kicked, create an additional 5/5 black bat creature token with flying named Dark Feast Bat. Whenever a bat enters the battlefield under your control, put a Death Touch and Lifelink counter on it, and it gains haste until in a turn it deals 1 damage to you. What did I just read? There's a battlefield, create 2/1/1 black. So we get bats, and if it's kicked for an extra, so it costs 9 mana if it's kicked. Okay. And then whenever a bat enters the battlefield under your control, put a death touch and lifeline counter on it. It gains haste. Deals 1 damage to you. There's a lot of cards here. But if it deals 1 damage to you, don't you gain the life back? So it deals 1 damage as lifelink. So it's like nothing happens. Yeah, you get the 1 life back. Bad design. Poorly designed. It has to be fixed. Oh, and that's it. That was your only card here. I would say fix a little bit of this. Why does that everything have to have haste? I mean, maybe you did it for flavor. Maybe you did it for flavor. Or I guess get rid of the lifelink part of it. Or get rid of the deal damage to you part. Something has got to change. Okay, we got Gossier with no. Hope this is easy to find. Okay, it was. No. Tell me it's a counter spell. A blue, legendary instant. You may cast a legendary instant only if you control a legendary permanent. Counter target spell that interacts with you or a permanent you control in any way. That's weirdly worded, but okay. You have to have a legendary permanent in play. I like it. It's effectively counter target spell that interacts with you or a permanent. Somehow this is not worded properly, but I know what you mean, so I'm going to count it. Benovsky's back for more with the Kane High Wind. Kane High Wind is a 6 mana 4/4 Dragoon Knight. First strike reach. Tap, return Kane High Wind to your hand, and you gain 4 life. Cool. When Kane High Wind enters the battlefield, deal 4 damage to every creature your opponents control. That's insane! And you can recur this thing over and over again? Oh god, this card seems broken. The solitary gentle soul dragon knight whose heart lies with the dragons. So basically, it's like it's some weird plague wind. Well, I mean, you could blink it or you could just, it's literally says tap, return it back to your hand for nothing, and you could just replay it next turn. You think this is printable? I think this card's broken. The solitary gentle-souled dragon knight whose heart lies with the dragons. I thought this was a dragoon. What's a Final Fantasy IV reference? Wait, what do you guys think? Is this broken or not? I mean, I'll leave it up to you if it's passable. As far as I'm concerned, it's like a 4 mana card that wipes to every creature opponents control. It's like a one-sided board wipe that you can play every single turn and gain life off of it too. So it's like let's just keep playing this. Play it over and over and over again. You have a creature that has less than 4 toughness or less. Well, you might as well play it at all. It's 6 mana. That means nothing in Commander. Have you ever heard of Soul Ring? I think the 4 damage is a color break. That's possible. Unless you can give it haste, you have to wait a turn. No, you don't. So you enter the battlefield, you deal 4 damage. You're tapped out. You're not going to do anything else, right? And then next turn, when your opponents play more creatures, if they play more creatures, they would be fools to do so. You return it back to your hand. And it's a prime flicker color too. Yeah, prime flicker target. I think this card is just too strong. Benovsky, you're going to design Modern Horizons 10 at this rate. You're just showing off your skills to Wizards of the Coast R&D. Hire me, hire me. We need to sell more packs. This will sell packs. Everyone will need a Kane Highwind in their deck. Yeah, you need to be able, yeah, but you don't need to bounce it immediately. You need to bounce it next turn when you have the mana. 6 mana for a mini board wipe in mini blue kind of fits the color pie if you have. I mean, yeah, it's like a sort of a supreme verdict. It would be fair if it hit every creature, including it. Well, it can't hit itself though. Sending my resume to Wizards of the Coast. Because remember, this is an ETB effect. Unless the you could reverse it. That would probably be more fair. You reverse it, ETB gain the life, then tap, deal 4 damage, put it back in your hand. That makes it completely fair in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, I'm not printing this card. Not on my watch. Bacon Catbug with Azusa, seeking but lost. Sounds backwards. I've lost my way. I don't know where I am. I need one of those maps that says you are here. 4 mana for a 1/2 human monk. Lands you control that could produce colorless. Have tap, add 1 mana of any color. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. That's actually pretty cool. I think a lot of people would play this. That would work perfect. In Commander, there are multiple people who have a chance to kill this. Are you talking about the board wipe creature? I mean, in my opinion, you don't, because when it ETBs and blows everything up. Like, yeah, you can kill it, but like that's like, do you not? It's like it was a one-sided board wipe for crying out loud. That last card. Azusa, seeking but lost. BUTT. Oh, I think this is a cool card. Print it. Okay, next up, we're gonna go to another Zarather. Victor, Herald of the Machines. Victor, Herald of the Machines is a 4 mana 3/5 artificer. Whenever you cast a non-creature artifact spell, you can pay 2. If you do, it becomes a creature in addition to its other types and has modular X, where X is its mana value. Whenever you cast a non-creature artifact. Okay, so the non-creatures can turn into artifacts. Whenever you cast a non-artifact creature spell, you may pay blue-red. If you do, it becomes an artifact in addition to its other types and has modular 1. That's so weird. Weird, but definitely doable. I would print it. Okay, next up, Fred Jones. Sorry, Brawly Shadow has Fred Jones Trap Expert. Made one for each member. I made one for each member. After you see each one, I would love to hear which combo you would like to make. Okay, 4 mana, 3/3 Vigilance. Sack 2 clues. Detain target creature. Spells in your hand have flash as long as 1 or more creatures are attacking you. And Mysterious Incorporated. You can have 2 commanders if both have Mysterious Incorporated. I guess this has... So we have made another partner, have we? Yet another partner. Can never have enough partners around here. Yeah, what's more fun than having 1 commander than to have 2 commanders, am I right? The only problem with Victor is the first ability doesn't define the creature's power and toughness. Well, that's for R&D to figure out. A 5-way choose your own partner. Oh, you have more of these on the way? Are there any cards here? I don't see the rest of them. Oh, you have other ones here. Oh, I see there. Velma Dinkley Astute Analyst. 3 mana 1/4. Pay a blue. Investigate. Activate abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less to activate. This ability can't reduce the mana in the cost. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, scry 1. Daphne Blake, Distressed Damsel, Indestructible Haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of Daphne until end of turn. If you do, untap Daphne and goad it, and it can't be sacrificed this turn. When Daphne attacks, its owner investigates. Shit. Did you super chat for all of these? I can't tell. Am I doing these like way too far in advance? Well, I am doing these far in advance. Okay, hold on. Let's get your thing in order here. Velma Dinkley, Astute Analyst. Where's Velma? There's Velma. Let's do this properly. You can do the whole series at once, just like Majra does. Okay, I did read this one. It's a blue, so we create and investigate. Activate abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less. So we basically can draw a card for 1 mana, because these investigated clue tokens cost 2 mana to crack. And whenever you sacrifice a clue, you scry 1. I like this card. I like drawing cards, and I don't think there's anything broken with this thing whatsoever. Well, while we're here, we'll just do them all. Well, I was expecting you to break them up throughout the show. Well, while it's a whole series, let's just do them all. All right, next, Daphne Blake. Where's the Daphne one? Distressed Damsel. indestructible haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control. So I don't understand this part. So it's indestructible. No one can kill this. You're going to give it to them. It's got to be goaded. Can't be sacrificed. It's got to attack someone other than you. And whenever it attacks, its owner investigates. So it attacks other people, but you get the clue tokens. This is fine. It's weird, though. They have to just keep giving it to somebody else. And then we have Shaggy, Cowardly Connoisseur. Where's Shaggy? Hello, Shaggy. Oh, no, I'm talking like Scooby-Doo. Okay, Shaggy, Cowardly Connoisseur, 2 mana for a 2/2. You may discard a card. If you do, investigate. Oh, sorry, when it enters, you may discard a card. Whenever an opponent attacks, exile Shaggy. Return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So you can keep investigating. It also has Mysterious Ink. All of these have Mysterious Ink. Then we got Scooby-Doo, Speed Eater. You know what? I read that at the back of my mind. I read Scooby-Doo Eater, which is disgusting. Okay, this is a 3 mana 2/4 with haste. Non-creature artifact tokens you control are food. Everything is food to Scooby-Doo. With pay 2, tap, sack, you gain 3 life in addition to other types. Whenever you sacrifice a food, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Yeah, absolutely, this is fine. And then we've got the Mysterious Machine. Thank you very much for all your super chats, Brawly Shadow. This is a 3 mana 5/5 vehicle with trample. Whenever it deals damage to whenever the Mystery Machine deals combat damage to a player, investigate that many times. Sacrifice X clues. Exile target creature with mana value X until Mystery Machine leaves the battlefield. X can't be 0. And now you asked, which cards would I like to make a combo of because they have Mystery Ink? I would take Velma, because I like the card drawing ability. And I think I would take this Fred Jones Trap Expert, because it has the ability to sack clues to detain target creatures. I bet there's some way that I can untap Velma and investigate multiple times per turn. Those are the 2 that I would take. I don't know if that's a good combination, but that's what I do. Bacon Catbug, Blood Forged Bounty. Bloodforged Bounty, 4 mana sorcery, destroy target creature, create 2 treasure tokens. Oh, we get the treasure tokens. Totally fair. Totally playable. Scooby-Doo control deck, yeah, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo control. Imagine, I mean, that could happen one day, right? Like the way the Magic the Gathering is going with these secret lair cards. Or not even secret lair cards, sorry, like Universes Beyond cards. We're eventually going to have, like, Scooby-Doo control labeled on MTG Goldfish. Darth Vader aggro. I don't know. Sauron combo. I don't know. We're, like, really halfway there. I mean, in real life, dogs sometimes are dew eaters. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Yeah, they're dew eaters. They're pee smellers. Okay, next up, let's take a look at one from... Let's take one from, I don't think Pyro Bob got one at all today. Rackzilla, the Eater of Trash. Inspired by Steve Cooper. You hear that, Steve Cooper? This was inspired by you, Raccoon Fam. What is this, Japan? That or China. Okay, we got a red-green 3 generic 6/6 Raccoon Beast with trample and haste. I guess raccoons can be sort of fast. They're more... I would say raccoons have, like, double strike more than trample. Okay, whenever Rackzilla deals combat damage to a player, you may exile that many cards from that player's graveyard. For each permanent exiled this way, create a food token. I like that. That is a banger flavor. It's basically turning trash into food. That's exactly what the raccoons would do. Sacrifice a food. Rackzilla gets +1/+0 until end of turn. This is a great card. Bang on flavor. Bang on card. When there was no more trash to eat, he trashed the city. Oh my god. This is the card that just keeps on giving. That level of complexity is not a common level. Is it that complicated? Yeah, it probably should be an uncommon card. Yeah, flavor text is Pat. That's the best flavor text of all year. That's the best flavor. When there was no more trash to eat, he trashed the city. I love this card. Actually, hold on. Okay, I'll get to you next, Goizer, because Bacon Catbook has so many cards. I gotta parse it out one at a time. Bloodtide Ritualist. So far, all of Bacon Catbugs are like very real-looking cards. 3 mana for a 1/2 Elf Shaman. The first spell you cast each turn has Delve. That is weird. That actually could be very strong, but this is a 3 mana 1/2, so it's not that strong by itself. Whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your graveyard, you lose that much life. That is a huge downside, to be honest. Alright, that's fair. That's balanced perfectly. Now we're going to go back to Goizer HD. Upside Down! Upside Down is a 4 mana legendary enchantment. When Upside Down enters the battlefield, all players flip their deck upside down. What does that mean? So continue the game like this until Upside Down leaves the battlefield. So like we draw off the top of our deck and we can just see the top card. All players play lands from the top of their deck. Oh, that is really weird. This is some Inception dream level crap I'm looking at here. Still really strong but hard to abuse. I think you must be talking about the last card. This is just like one of those janky commander cards. You just play it for the sake of playing it. Although it does say all players may play lands from the top of their deck, so this plus Azusa might be able to grind out cards from the top pretty easily. This is a cool card. Neat design. Guy's walking on clouds. Pretty neat in Commander, maybe? Oh, absolutely. Pretty useless in a regular game of Magic. I think. Oh, I guess you could abuse this a little bit by putting... So, hon, what happens when you put a card on the bottom of your deck? Do you actually put it on the top of your deck? That is a card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Called Compulse of Nature. Oh, really? They really make this card in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's so weird. The Upside Down. Yo, this is inspired from a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card that I love. Do they really play this jank in Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, everyone, we're gonna play with our deck face up. Just turn it upside down. It doesn't seem like a real card. Scrying would be really weird. No, it wouldn't. It's just... You're just basically playing with your deck. Like, everyone gets to see what's on top of your deck, that's all. An alternative way to play the game. Okay, Bacon. Bright Eyes, Servant of All. Is this the opposite of Dark Eyes? Oh, great art. 6 mana for a 4/5 Rat Cleric Ninja with Ninjutsu of 5 mana and lifelink. Whenever you gain life, you may return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter and a shield counter on it, where X is the amount of life you gained. Creature card. Oh, so you gain that much life and you can bring that type of creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. So you gain 3 life, you get a creature. I like it. Cool card. Okay, Zarathur with the Rise Rune Mage. This is quite a mouthful to cast. It is effectively, it's either Wooburg or 10 colorless mana. It's a 5/5 human wizard. And whenever a multicolored non-creature spell or permanent enters your graveyard, if you've cast it, you may exile it. If you do, you draw a card for each of that card's colors and lose that much life. So a multicolored non-creature spell or permanent enters your graveyard. So if I cast a 5-mana sorcery, like a Wooburg sorcery, I'm going to draw 5 cards. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you own 10 multicolored cards in exile of different color combinations, destroy target opponent. This card seems... I can't tell. Is this card just insane? I can't tell if this card's fair because it's really expensive, or this thing's just going to be broken. Like, you get this thing in play by turn 3-ish. Birds of Paradise, some Signets, boom, Rise Rune Mage, play a 5-mana sorcery. Toilet Duck is like, in danger! Ship it anyway. Yeah, opponent destroyed. You've been destroyed. Is this an AI card? I mean, the art is AI, obviously. It's not really word soup. Like, it's intelligible. Like, I can read this. Can you destroy an opponent? You know, you can now. You can use demonic consultation with this. Oh, that could work out very well. Yuki's like, I don't really play Yu-Gi-Oh! I just kept following the trends because I find meta-analysis interesting. You don't think the art is AI? Come on, the art looks very AI to me. Oh, it's a League of Legends reference? Well, anyway, I can't tell if this card is good or bad. I guess we'll give it a pass. Cannot tell if it's broken. Oh, is it Reese from League of Legends? Okay. Do you only do AI card viewings on a certain days? Yes, every other Wednesday. So next week, next Wednesday will be AI cards. It has to be exactly 10 cards. If you own 10 multicolored cards in exile of different... No, it's not exactly. It's 10 or more. So if you own 10 multicolored cards in exile of different color combinations, you blow up your opponents. That's it. I think that's it's pretty strong. I guess you could blow this thing up in response, though. Make sure it never gets to that point. Anyway, so we'll give it a pass. Next up, okay, let's do another Bacon Cat Bug, Ember Inferno. I love your avatar, Bacon Cat Bug. I love that avatar. It's bacon and it's a bug, and it's a cat. It's a 2. Okay, so we have Ember Inferno, a 2-mana sorcery with Escalate of 2. Pay this cost for each mode chosen beyond the first. Choose one or more. Each player sacrifices an artifact, creature, non-basic land, and planeswalker. So basically for 4 mana, this is really clunky. For 6 mana, it's like marginally valuable. Sure. It's probably a little underwhelming, to be honest. I don't know how to make this more. Each player you might be able to get away with this just by paying like Escalate as 1. And then even if it was 6 mana for all these modes, I think that would be okay. Pay this cost for each mode chosen. Or maybe I misunderstand. Maybe you can play this card. Maybe you can play the mode more than once. Choose one or more. Can we play this? Can we play each mode the mode more than once? So each player sacks an artifact, so I can do that twice. Maybe at that point we do have to make it pay 2. Or is that big of a deal? 4 mana, each player sacrifices 2 non-basic lands. I don't know. 2 more mana per choice. At this point, it's super fair. I was just trying to figure out if there was a way to power creep this thing a little bit stronger. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Okay, Majra. Let's go do another big one. And the last for today, unfortunately, is part 5 of the Lalabesque. Part 5 of the Lalabesque. Alright, 3 mana aura. Yeah, a lot of words on this one. So wait, the first one always has a lot of words for some reason. The first one, and then every other card has less words. 3 mana aura. Enchant land, creature, or artifact. Enchanted permanent becomes a mountain and loses all other abilities and card types. That's fair. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks you or a planeswalker you control, create a 3/3 green plant creature token unless that creature's controller pays 2. Oh, that's very interesting. That is very strong. It is like... No, I think that's actually fine. It's like a ghostly prison that they could ignore if they don't care about the 3/3. And it's like removal. Can we remove the limiter please? No. Otherwise I'll be here all day. I've been here all day once. You know, this show was stretching on for 2.5 hours. The show has to end at some point, or I have to do this twice a week. Okay, Blossoming of Grief. It's a 4 mana aura enchant permanent. Gain control of enchanted permanents. We're swiping permanents left, right, and center here. Enchanted permanent is a forest and loses all other card types and abilities. Okay, so we're basically stealing their thing, and then we get a land. Blossoming of Melancholy. 4 mana. It's an aura. Enchant non-creature permanent. You control enchanted permanent. We are thieves now. We've joined the dirty wet bandits. Enchanted permanent is a mountain land and loses all other types and abilities. Whenever the owner of enchanted land casts a non-creature spell, Blossoming of Melancholy deals 2 damage to that player. The owner of enchanted permanent? Whenever the owner of enchanted permanent casts a non-creature spell, I think that's too much. So we're stealing their permanent and we're punishing only them for casting spells? I don't think so. I think that's a bit strong. That would be so annoying to play against too. The fun thing to do, use enchanted permanent is a land and lose all abilities on opponent's commander. Ah, yes, exactly. So then you take the damage or your opponent? No, we don't own. We control the land, but we don't own. The owner is the person, like whoever, like the deck, whoever's card the deck belongs to. So I think that's a bit pushed. Okay, Blossoming of Sideration, 4 mana, enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has defender and must block each turn if able. And the enchanted creature has, whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to its controller and each creature that player controls. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to its controller. That is a bit funny. That is a bit funny. I mean, probably the creature will die. That's probably funny. That I think we can do. That one I think is actually fine. You have to block something that attacks you, and then it just wipes your board. But then after it wipes your board, like, you don't have a board. The creature's dead anyway. The Path to Lalavesk. It is a 3-mana enchantment. Flash. When Path to Lalavesk enters, search your library for up to 3 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one on the battlefield tapped and the others in your hand, then shuffle. Pay 3 mana. Sacrifice Path to Lalavesk. Target creature you control explores, then you investigate. Do we really need both of them on here? Oh no, you sacrifice Path to Lalavesk. Okay. Probably pushed, but probably fine. Probably pushed, probably fine. Bacon Cat Bug, Ember Maw Hellkite. Sounds like the name of a real card. Five mana 4/4 Dragon. Oh, did I hear Dragon? When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. That's totally fine. You're really making, you are the real person here, Bacon Cat Bug, trying to show your resume to Wizards of the Coast R&D. Hire me, hire me. Let's get one for Crowcore Games. 02. I think it should be on Discord. It better be on Discord. Zero to Fix. It is 10 mana for a 9/9 bringer. Okay, pay a red, tap, return target creature to its owner's hand. Pay 8, tap, put a counter on 02. Then if there are 3 or more fate counters on 02, you win the game. Okay, this has to be an AI card. Like, it has to be an AI card. There's no way you design this thing. Everything is so bizarre. It's a 10 mana card with an ability that costs 1. And the other ability costs 8. Then for a red and a blue, tap 02, deals 4 damage to each non-angel creature, draw a card. Not to mention, it's really confusing that it's called 02. One written out, the other one just as a number, and it also has, and it deals 4 damage to each non-angel creature. They should have called it 04. It's based on 0 from Kirby. I don't know the Kirby lore that well. It's a Kirby boss. Okay, whatever. It costs 10 mana, so this cannot be the worst thing in the world. I don't remember the boss's name. 02 is not an angel. It damages itself. It's a bringer. That's exactly what it brings. It brings the pain. It brings the pain to Kirby. Another Bacon Cat Bug. Kuratsuru. Kuratsuru. It's a rat. Big, dirty rat. 5 mana for a 3/5 rat shaman. Each opponent's maximum hand size is equal to the number of cards in your hand. Oh, that's nasty. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 2 life. So basically, discard your hand, and no one else can have like any more than 1 card in their hand on anyone else's turn. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 2 life. Okay, I think this is cool. I think this is a very cool card. I think there's a lot of people that would build around this card. It's not broken because at some point, you're just going to empty your hand anyway. It does nothing. Someone wanted to brew a one with nothing deck. That's right! Should be called Kurutsuru. One with nothing. Exactly what they could have named. That card could have been named. Okay, Brawly Shadow. Hey, Nikachu, is there a specific IP you would like to see cards off of? No pressure, just curious. Thank you very much for your super chat, Brawly Shadow. I wanted to see an IP. Let me think of my other interests. Nothing really coming to mind. I mean, you could maybe do an Among Us one. I was a huge fan of the Among Us game. Huge fan of that Among Us game. There's probably a lot to work with Among Us. But I guess you could possibly do that. I wasn't thinking, you know, you caught me off guard, but if I were to say off the top of my head, Among Us. So my other, like my other interests, like chess, I don't think do very well. Like, what are you gonna make? Like Kasparov, World Grand Chess Master. Kasparov takes like 20 extra turns than you because he basically sees to the end of the game. Okay, so with that super chat, we will look at 2 freebies from the freebie section. You got me monologuing. It's a blue-blue 1 generic instant. If you control 3 or more plotted cards in exile or a plotted spell you cast from exile, you may cast this spell without paying its mana cost. Counter target spell. You sly dog. That's a funny card. Loved the movie The Incredibles. Huge fan, huge Incredibles fan. Watched that movie a million times. Fossil Record. Maybe that's what you could do. The Incredibles. I just got inspired. Okay, Fossil Record for a green. It's an enchantment. Creatures that enter the battlefield under your control that enter from a graveyard or are cast from a graveyard enter with a number of +1/+1 counters on them equal to the number of cards that in that graveyard that were above them. What the hell does this card do? Brain explode, in my opinion. Okay, creatures that enter the battlefield under my control that enter from a graveyard. Okay, so they came from the graveyard or are cast from a graveyard, either coming from the graveyard, enter with a number of +1/+1 counters on them equal to the number of cards in that graveyard that were above them. We're going to remember the stack of cards in our graveyard again? Hell no. I don't, it cares about graveyard order, and I absolutely don't want to bring that back into the game. That's the last thing that we need. That's the last thing we need in this game is, cards that care about graveyard order again. Martin says, in the vein of Kasparov, Magnus Carlsen, you may scry and surveil from your opponent's libraries. I guess so. Well, we're not done. We're not done. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm definitely disqualifying that card. It's the last thing I need to see. Mana Tide from Bacon Cat Bug. Blue. Instant. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, its controller adds an amount of colorless equal to that spell's mana value. Oh god, why would I even want to do that? This is terrible. Even the faltered steps yield power. For every twist of fate, it is a new thread in the tapestry of possibility. I mean, it's fair. It's like, hey, I'm countering your spell. But here's the good news. You get a bunch of colorless mana off of it. Go play a One Ring or something. Go play a One Ring or something, kid. Enjoy your One Ring. Okay, next up, we're going to take a look at a Dark Star Ashura Kobold Assault Squad. Kobold Assault Squad is a 3-mana 2/1 Kobold Warrior. When Kobold Assault Squad enters the battlefield, create a tapped junk token. It's too much reminder text on here. It's an artifact with tap, sack this artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Whenever you sacrifice a junk token, kobolds you control get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn. A deck can have any number of cards named Kobold Assault Squad. I'm assuming this is fine. Kobolds suck. They're very small creatures. Very, very small. Small and weak. Okay, we have Gossier, Who's got the skill deficiency? Who's got the... Can't find it. Well, maybe I'll look up deficiency. Deficiency. I don't know why I wasn't looking it up. I typed it right. I think. Okay, who's got the skill deficiency? It is a green 1 generic instant. Cast only during the damage step. That's a very unique step. For each creature attacking you, play a game of rock, paper, and scissors with the attacking creature's controller. For each game you win, the attacking creature is exiled. For each game you lose, the attacking creature gains +1/+1 and trample. For each creature attacking you, play a game of rock, paper. For each game you win, attacking creature is exiled. So it's like 50-50, everything gets exiled. This has got to be... Well, I mean, apparently there's some skill to rock, paper, scissors. There's actual championships to the damn thing. So this card... I don't know. It breaks my brain. I'm getting rid of the thing. Amputees hate it. Oh yeah, it's not inclusive. Not everyone can play rock, paper, scissors around here. Okay, well, I mean, well, that's actually not true. You can just play with cards, you know. You have like cards face down, and then you just choose which one you want to be rock, paper, scissors. You like write on a piece of paper what you're gonna reveal. So there's other ways of doing it. Oblivion's Toll from Baking Catbug. Oblivion's Toll. 6-mana enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices all non-land permanents they control. This is terrible. At the beginning of each player's upkeep. This is like Blood Moon, except you lose everything, and it's not coming back. That player sacrifices all non-land... Oh, sorry. It's not like Blood Moon. It's non-land permanents they control. So, like, only lands allowed. Only lands allowed. And it might only wipe the board of one person, too. Because, okay, all that once stood falls into silent surrender, consumed by the relentless toll of oblivion. It's like, I'm not blowing everything up. It sacks itself. It does. It will do that. So 1 round of wiping everything out. Interesting. Really cool art, though, too. You have this, like, these mountains divided by, or a forest divided by mountains by a river, and the forest is burning! Forest is burning down. The only limit is your imagination. In this world, yes. Darkstar Ashura. Haverick, the Bound Current? Think Current or something? Yeah, it is the Bound Current. 9 mana. That's a lot of mana. 9/9 Elemental Leviathan. Haverick the Bound Current enters tapped with 9 stun counters on it if no mana was spent to cast it. Okay, so if you cheated in play, this thing's never untapping. Basic islands you control have tap target creature and put a stun counter on it. Basic islands activate only as a sorcery. So even if you do cheat this in play, you can just wreak havoc on everything. Activate only as, oh, but you can only do it on your turn. Whenever Haverick the Bound Current attacks, put a stun counter on itself and each creature defending player controls. Sure. It's 9 mana. Which probably is not enough mana in Commander, but whatever. Bacon Catbug with Rendgar, Siege Breaker. Rendgar is a 5-mana 3/3. Blocking or blocked creatures you control have double strike. Everything has double strike. Creatures blocking or blocked by creatures you control have death touch. What the hell? Creatures blocking or blocked by creatures you control. Blocking or blocked creatures you control have double strike. Oh, I see. Oh no, only your stuff has double strike. So if I attack and if it gets blocked, it has double strike. And has death touch, which means you're basically not going to touch any of my cards. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting mechanic for Boros. Funwei says, I'd play that in my Yenna deck. Darkstar Shore says, don't give me ideas. Vitron Espada. Reclaimed Meadow. Thoughts on a new counter type? spelling this right. Meadow. I can't find this card. Reclaimed Meadow. Thoughts on a new counter type? I can't find this. It doesn't exist. Vitron Espada. Do you have it on, like, is it on, you just put it in? Okay, hold on. Let's jump to the present. I don't particularly see, oh, here it is. You know, you're okay. Vitron Espada. You're supposed to put the name of the card here. I cannot find, like, you know, Discord cannot find Reclaimed Meadow. I can't find that. You put Vitron Espada Submission. That is useless to me. Yeah, you have to give me the name of the post that you gave me. All right, well, we found it with a little bit of help. Okay, Reclaim Meadow. Land. This land enters the battlefield tapped. Add, and you add a colorless. Okay, so you get a little something out of it. Tapped, add a green. Tap, put a plains counter on this land. Land counters can't be placed on non-land permanents. Okay, put a plains counter on this land. Land counters can't be placed on non-land permanents. Plains counters say tap, add a white. I understand that. Why do you have this thing? Land counters can't be placed on non-land permanents. I mean, isn't that the idea? Like, it's not saying you can put it anywhere else, right? So I think actually it's fine. Yeah, I think your idea of this sort of land counter to add different types of mana is perfectly legitimate. So like what it could also do is like you add the island counter, the swamp counter, and then all of a sudden it's a multicolor land. Totally fair, totally fine. Like the idea. Hold on, I should actually get to a Bacon Cat Bug. Shadow Bound pack, and then I'll get to you, Bryce. Right after Bacon Cat Bug. Shadow Bound packs. Two mana for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has Death Touch and Lifelink. When an enchanted creature dies, you draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. At least you're... I think you're even happier that the creature dies. Bryce, instant overloads by BB Bro 123. What does that mean? It's not in my Discord? Is that what you're trying to tell me here? Instant overloads. No, it's here. No art for some reason. We got for Wooburg a 4/5 creature. Each instant in your deck, hand, or graveyard has overload 3. Cool! We can overload it by 3. I don't actually even know what this means, but I'm assuming it does good stuff. I don't play with overload very much. Okay, Bacon Cat Bug with the Siege Break Rhino. Rule of 4 is funny. 4 mana for a 4/4 Rhino Juggernaut. Haste, Trample, Lifelink, and Flying. Haste, it doesn't have Vigilance, which is good, because Vigilance would be the most annoying out of all these. So it's Haste, Trample, Lifelink, and Flying. I honestly think that this is playable. It would probably be a competitive card, too. That'd be such an annoying card to play against. Do you see the wall over there? Yes, sir. I don't want to. As you command, sir. Very interesting card. Probably very strong. Vitron Espada. Oh, no, we did this one. We did your Meadow. Go Sierra with Gradual Reset. We're going to reset the game, but very gradually. Okay, this is 5 mana. It's whiteless Wooburg. Sorcery, destroy all permanents. During each of the next 3 upkeeps, each player may choose a permanent type they haven't chosen yet, then return all permanents of the chosen type from their graveyard to the battlefield. So during each of the next 3 upkeeps, each player may choose a permanent type they haven't chosen. Also, I can choose creature, but then I have to choose enchantment, or I have to choose like instant or something, or artifact. Or I have to bring them to the battlefield, so I don't... Oh, it has to be a permanent type, so it can be land, artifact, enchantment, planeswalker, and so on. I like it. Actually, I think this is a cool card. You wipe the board, but it comes back. Okay, Bacon Catbug. And finally, the Whisper Field Cloak. Whisper Field. Put an H in there. Oh, you really went gung-ho with the... are you, like, collaborating with Mahjar or something? You're going gung-ho with all the auras today. This is a... Okay, this is white or a blue. Enchant creature. Whenever enchant creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, you may sacrifice Whisper Field Cloak. If you do, counter that spell or ability. Protection! I think a lot of people would play this card. People love protecting their cards. I guess it's just a crappier form of Swiftfoot Boots, though, right? I think they will. Boulder! Gonna miss your morning streams. Love all the content. Thank you so much, Boulder. With that, I'm gonna go back to the freebie section. Give 2 to the freebies. There's always the replay. There's always the replay. Okay, Speed Swap. 3-mana enchantment. All sorceries are instants. All instants are sorceries. Slow and steady wins the race. It does now. I hope this doesn't break the game. I don't even know if red wants this. It would like do absolutely nothing. Well, I shouldn't say that, but like I think it would be better in the hands of another deck. Reckless Reinforcements, a 2-mana instant. Create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Buy back, sacrifice a creature. Okay, so create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage. So basically, you can just constantly do this. You want to loop this over and over again. So the first time, if you want, like the second time you play this, you can just sacrifice the creature that you made. So if you have infinite mana, it's like an infinite win condition. I guess it's okay. I guess. Okay, next up we got Jim Cammy. Thank you very much for your super chat. Me and my boyfriend love the show. Please give 1 to chat. Another 1 to chat. Okay, another 1 to the freebie section. Rumors. Rumors have it that if you draw a card, target opponent may copy this spell for 1 mana. Oh, so basically, what does it mean? Oh, so I get to choose the opponent. Okay. I draw a card. Would you like to copy the spell? And if you do copy the spell, you have to target another opponent. Oh, and isn't this just broke? This is just trade secrets all over again. Like, aren't I just, like, this is just trade secrets. Okay, 1 mana, Rumors. I draw a card. Would you like to draw a card? All right, let's just bounce it off of each other for eternity. We just blow out the other 2 players. This is totally broken. There's no way that you can print this card. It's 1 mana trade secrets in 2 colors. Power creep, people. Unbelievable. Miyuki, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, we're gonna have more. Apparently... Okay, we'll try to do 7 more. It doesn't work because because you don't reselect the targets and the copy will target any illegal player. Are you sure? Draw a card. Target opponent may copy the spell. But then they draw a card. Target opponent may copy the spell. They just bounce it off of each other. Because they are now not an opponent. They copy the spell, and I am now their opponent. As far as I can see. Okay, let's move on. We got the Crab Roach. It's a blue 0/2 crab insect. Pay a blue, turn Crab Roach face down. Why would you want to do that? It's a 2/2 creature? That's so weird. Yeah, go in your shell, and now you're actually stronger. Some weird way. It doesn't say new targets for the new copy. Can't choose new targets for the copy. Oh, why not? No, usually those types of effects choose new targets. Ah! So this card don't work. Target opponent... I think that's how they intended on making it work, though. So basically, draw a card, target opponent may copy the spell. But then what happens when they copy the spell? So they just can't choose themselves again? I see. Wait, okay, now I understand what you're saying. You draw a card, target somebody, and then they get to draw a card, but they can't even target themselves, so the spell actually sort of fizzles or something? But I think the way they wanted to design it is that the player can choose new targets for the copy. They just misworded it. Okay, next up, we're going to Manifest Destiny. White, white, white. Enchantments can't tap opponent. Sorry, it's an enchantment. Opponents can't tap lands for mana unless the mana is immediately used to cast spells or activate abilities. On your turn, you may tap your opponent's lands for mana to pay for your spells and activated abilities. in brackets, it works. They assure us this actually works. I don't know if that's true. Opponents can't tap lands for mana unless the mana is immediately used to cast spells or activated abilities. Well, actually, the way the game works, you're not really supposed to be floating mana. You just cast your spell and then tap the lands to play it. On your turn, you may tap your opponent's lands for mana to pay for your spells and activated abilities. All right. In fact, it doesn't work. It just works. We'll just assume that it does. It was uninhabited. It was uninhabited. Mark Rosewater. Okay, this is our third of the freebie from Miyuku. 3 mana, 3/2 Goblin Thief. Prevent the first damage this creature would take. When Greedy Grinner deals combat damage, create a treasure token. Ship it. Very weird card. This is like a crappy Photoshop of somebody's friend. Elephant Monsoon. This is an 8-mana enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create an XX green elephant creature token with trample, where X is that spell's mana value. You can also cycle it for a green and a colorless and pay X. When you cycle it, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It gains trample until end of turn. It's like Shark Typhoon. It is not a Shark Typhoon. It's an Elephant Monsoon. Oh, some weird card here. Oh no. Okay, it's a double-sided card. We have got Kaisen, Catku Air. It's a 5-mana 3/2. Spell costs 2 less to cast for each poisoned opponent you have. Kaisen can't be blocked. Pay 2, you lose a poison counter. Kaisen's owner draws a card. Only your opponents may activate this ability. And then when we flip it, we got the Necropolis. Oh, sorry, it's just a double-sided card. We don't flip. So for 6 mana, we have the Necropolis. Chapter 1, destroy all creatures and planeswalkers. Chapter 2, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. And at Chapter 3, at the beginning of each player's next end step, they get 3 poison counters. I think it's fine. I'm gonna give it a pass. Distraught Investigator. For nothing? Death Touch Lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, create a tapped clue token. 4 mana. 4 mana for a 1/2. Finally, we have a creature version of this weird creature that was in Phyrexian Unlife. Wait, the second side blows it up? Does it? Destroy all artifacts and enchantments? You're right. That's so funny. Okay. A slight design mistake. Slight design mistake. I don't know what the consequences are of having this thing cost nothing, but I will give it a pass. Okay, Kamikaze Blaze, a 2-mana instant with Cleave. Pay 2, sacrifice a wizard or discard a card. Kamikaze Blaze deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to you. Cleave for 2 mana, sack a wizard or discard a card. You may cast this. Oh, I see. You can remove. Okay, so basically, if you pay 4 mana, you have to deal 4 damage, and you don't deal any damage to yourself. Honestly, I think this is busted. Like, we already have, there's like a, was it Flame Rift, 4 mana, it's like 2 mana, deal 4 damage to each player. This is just strictly better than that. Gives you options, and you deal 4 damage to any target. You can hit creatures if you want. I pay 4 life for a Death Touch blocker any day. Anyway, okay, I think this is actually a bit too strong. Oh, I think that was the 7th one. Ugh, how do we have more super chats here? What the hell is going on here? Maja says, donate 1 to the Discord. The problem with the Discord, I don't know who has gotten their card shown and who hasn't. Okay, so we have Ask Me Anything Adam with Gorgeous the Lone Leader. This is a Wooburg 2 generic sorcery. What is that? Activated abilities on top of it. 2 mana, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. There are activated abilities on sorceries and instants. It's very rare though. 2 mana, target creature phases out until end of turn. 2 mana, creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any, have tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors until end of turn. 2 mana, target opponent gains -2/-2 until end of turn, and also 2 mana, non-creature permanents you control get hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. I think you want to make this an enchantment. It's just weird as a sorcery, and I think if you want to make it a sorcery with activated abilities, it can just be called, it just be cast for Wooburg with all these abilities attached to it. Which at that point you just might as well make it kicker. So I think the design is a bit weird. So either make it you can either like cut off the 2 colorless, and then I guess make these all versions of kicker, or make it an enchantment. Maybe it's supposed to be an enchantment. Don't know why this would make it a sorcery. As a sorcery, does this work? Yeah, it does. There are sorceries that have activated abilities. It's so rare, though. I think there's only 1 card that has an activated ability. Maybe 2. Darkstar Ashura says, we keep going on. Sword of Spreading Decay. Three mana of artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has decayed and is goaded. When equipped creature dies, you may attach Sword of Spreading Decay to target creature an opponent controls. Pay 3. Attach Sword of Spreading Decay to target creature and opponent controls. That is so weird. So when it dies, you may attach this thing to target creature and opponent controls. Yeah, so like you just want to keep giving it to somebody else. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has decayed and is goaded. So okay. If I understand correctly, you have to put equipment on your creatures, but then it's goaded, so you give it to somebody else? Not how goaded works? Pay 3, attach it to target creature and opponent. Oh, you have this just the ability. Sorry, goaded is not you giving it to somebody else. Goaded is just they have to attack somebody that's not you. Okay, so you just have the special ability of paying 3. Cool. Getting rich today. Bacon Catbug donation for a random Discord card. I don't even know if you should be allowed to super chat. You already reached your limit for today. Okay, so I'm not looking up anything particular. So we got Psycho Zoa just gave us Give Them Back Their Bomb. It is a 4 mana legendary sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, tap an untapped legendary creature you control, which is not a very high cost. Gain control of target artifact you don't control until end of turn. It loses all abilities and gains at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice this and destroy all creatures you control. Well, that is absolutely fine. Very, very fine, in my opinion. Okay, go Sierra. Georgius, the lone leader. Georgius. The lone leader. Thank you very much for your super chat, Gossier. Wait a minute, we just did that. You got sniped by yourself, or did you snipe yourself? No, I think you got sniped by one of the free super chats. So we just did this one, which means that's funny. We just did this one. Yeah, we already did them. Okay, so I'll have to donate. I'll donate this to Word Soup from B-Bro. I have a feeling is this one getting? It is getting super chat. All right, well, okay, we gotta do that one later. This is so weird. Okay, I gotta dig deeper. Okay, is there a card that we didn't do? Because you guys see the problem with donating to chat is we've done a lot of these. Okay, I have to go deeper into these cards. Have we done any of these? This is all... Okay, I don't think we've ever done this one from Grillum. 5 mana for a Lurgoyf. Power and toughness are each equal to 2 times the number of creature cards in your graveyard. If Raxagoyf would be dealt damage from any source, you may exile that number of cards from your graveyard instead. Easily playable. Another Bacon Catbug for the freebies. Is there another freebie I can give? We'll give another one to Grillum, I guess. Memory Knell. This is a 5 mana instant. Choose a non-land card type. Target opponent reveals their hand and discards all cards of that type. You lose 1 life for each remaining card in their hand. That's so weird. Like if you remove all the cards from their hand, then you take absolutely nothing. Choose a non-land card type. Oh, I wonder what else you have in your hand. All your creatures or something? I guess it's... Why is this an instant? Oh, well, I don't think it's broken. So I'm going to pass it. Okay, we have Corante with Great Moments in Gaming Part 1. Oh, we just did... See, this is the problem with going into the chat. All right, we already did one of them, so I'll donate one of those somewhere else. So now we have Loss Unites Us, the 4-mana legendary sorcery. Target opponent chooses a legendary creature from among creatures you control. Exile that creature. You get an emblem with legendary creatures you control have indestructible and +2/+2. The anthem for your legendaries. And also we've got Leave the Vault, a 4-mana instant, and a colorless instant. I mean, hey, they exist. It looks more like an artifact, though. You have got an artifact frame here. If target creature dies this turn, search your library for a creature card that shares a creature type with less mana value of that creature. Exile with two time counters on it, and it gains suspend. Shuffle your library. Easily pass. Cool card. Okay, I'm donating. The donations have to go to, like, here. I know you guys want to donate to the Discord, but it's just, becomes a mess. Oh god, why is this a double-sided card? Bigger Blacker Lotus, 0 mana. A deck can have any number of cards named Bigger Blacker Lotus, and Bigger Blacker Lotus can only be in your starting deck if every card in your starting deck is named Bigger Blacker Lotus. What the hell? Wait, the whole deck is just Black Lotuses? Sacrifice Bigger Blacker Lotus at 3 mana of any one color. And I guess it's all to cast the Turbo Plague Rats, a 3 mana star, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures named Turbo Plague Rats on the battlefield. So basically you crack 3 Black Lotuses at the beginning of the, or 4 Black Lotuses at the beginning of the game, play 4 Turbo Plague Rats, and every card in your deck is going to be a Turbo Plague Rat or Bigger Black Lotus. You know what? I like it. I want to see how that mess ends up anyway. Miyuki says, pokes one out more for Nikachu for the lols. Thank you very much for that super chat anyway. Unending Swarm. 2 mana for a 1/1 insect horror. When Unending Swarm... When Unending Swarm dies, each player loses 1 life. And it's got Enrage. Whenever Unending Swarm is dealt damage, create a token that's a copy of Unending Swarm at the beginning of the next end step. Huh? Okay, hold on. 2 mana for a 1/1. It's an insect horror. If it dies, each player loses a life, including us. And it has an Enrage. So is that when it's dealt damage? So it's dealt damage, create a token that's a copy. Ah, I see, at the beginning of the next end step. So when it dies, you just get another one anyway. And it's unending. This is not going to end in any way. Okay, Bryce with their word soup. Okay, remember that's at the bottom here. I remember where this was. You got no picture. And also the word soup is not capitalized. It's a 5 mana artifact. If a card you cast is too wordy, your opponent may exile it. If he or she does, you gain mana equal to its mana cost. Nikachu hates cards that are word soup. Absolutely. Gonna have a pass on that one. Miyuki says Steve Cooper has corner of toe stubbing, he said. Sure. I see it. It was just submitted. The corner of toe stubbing. Okay, I have big feet. I've never stubbed my feet on corners. I have stubbed my feet on stairs. Stairs is a big one. Stairs is actually the dominant one, in my opinion. Stairs, chairs, what else? Never corners. That's not a... sort of completely out of range. Even to my big feet. Anyway, okay, 3 mana 0/4 wall with Defender. Whenever an opponent pays a kicker or multi-kicker cost. Oh, I get it. We have multi-kick. We kick it. Corner of toe stubbing. Deals 1 damage to them. Tap. Target creature loses haste. What a weird card. Perfectly fair, though. Okay, and the last one from Reddit. Infinite money. Do you know what? I do appreciate infinite money. What can I say? My infinite money making machine. The infinite money glitch. Respected Bannerlord. The person who holds the banner during war. It's a 2-mana 2/2 human flag bearer. Whenever an opponent is choosing targets as part of casting a spell they control or activating an ability they control, that player must choose at least one flag bearer on the battlefield if able. When respected banner lord dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each warrior you control. When a respected banner lord dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each warrior. That is good. And whenever an opponent is choosing targets as part of the cast cost they control or activating an ability they control, that player must choose at least one flag bearer on the battlefield if able. Okay, so they basically, hey, come attack me. Cool card. If we keep it going for 2 more hours, do we start a new stream? No. Although everyone will probably be very upset that you made the show so long. There are people who hate the thing goes over 1 hour. But I still don't mind if it goes over 1 hour. The people are basically paying me for it. Alright, well, that's the end of this show. Remember, starting Monday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's gonna be the new time slot for the show. Starting next Monday on what is this? April something. I know that wasn't very descriptive. April 15th. Thanks everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or use Super Chat to be part of the show, or Super Chat to help other people be part of the show. Thank you for being part of the community, and that support makes sure that this show keeps going on. It's been going on for like 4 years, ever since COVID started, and it's not going to end anytime soon because people keep super chatting. And also, most importantly, we got to thank the coffee crew who shows up every morning, because this show is nothing without you people. It's nothing without Bacon Catbug, Old Boy, Brawly Shadow, Ferginka, Majra, Steve Cooper, Mordrak, Gossier, Toilet Duck, Mario, because you guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.